Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
One of the fastest growing populations in North Texas is the Asian community. There are now 500,000 people of Asian descent living in North Texas. Why are they coming here? We're going to learn out today from Mai Caldwell. She is with Advanced Community Fund, and Dr. Charles Koo. He's with the Greater Dallas Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Dr. Koo.
Thank you.
Such a great honor to have you here in the studio.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Mai, why don't you take the first question?
Dr. Koo, you are have been like the president of the Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce. You're a community leader, especially in our Asian community. Can you share with us some of the accomplishments that you've had in the past with the chamber, as well as maybe some of the future accomplishments?
Oh, definitely. First, I want to tell people that when you talk about Asians, you have to understand Asians is made of many people from many countries. We all may look alike, but our experience in life is different. So I, coming from Taiwan, so I can only speak, the work that we do between Taiwan and Dallas and the state of Texas. So we have been involved with all levels of political process because we believe now that we have to get involved in the political decision so we can be part of this process. So we find our candidate that who are good to Taiwan, and we support them with fundraisers, with activities, and so forth. So that we have been accomplished quite a bit. We have 5, 6 people from members of Congress that really support our Taiwan and the work that we do. And then, of course, we are friends with all these local surrounding mayors and city council persons that every year we have a Chinese New Year celebration. We always draw 4 or 5 members of the Congress, and then 12, 13 surrounding mayors, So this is one thing. The second thing is we establish people-to-people contact between Taiwan and Dallas. So we established a sister city relationship with Dallas, with Taipei, and then sister relationship with Dallas County and Taoyuan. And then every mayor, we always went to Taiwan to visit and let them learn firsthand, that they can see the people and the place. And then the Dallas County judge, we also took them to visit Taiwan to have them to learn personally, firsthand, the progress that Taiwan has made. And this is the second thing, that people to people. And then, of course, we have delegations, arts groups coming from Taiwan to visit Dallas. For instance, before the pandemic, City of Taipei always sent us a youth folk dancing group to City of Dallas. And they always perform at the City Hall with a lunch, and it's always a very big success. And then, of course, we take care of our own people. we built a senior citizen apartment. We're using the HUD 202 program. Basically, the HUD put up the money to buy the land and build it, and then charge the rent, very minimum rent, to people, So we have a wonderful 50-unit apartment complex, senior citizen complex in Richardson. And then we also have Chinese schools. We have several big Chinese schools. I myself established a Chinese school called Sunray Chinese School, and we have about 1,000 people every weekend to learn Chinese, math, English, and all that, which is very, very helpful for the students because we want them to know their heritage and learn their culture. And basically, these are the things that we have been doing.
Dr. Koo, why do you think the Asian population is growing so fast in North Texas?
Okay, that is a very good question because you have to understand Dallas and the surrounding cities, first of all, has a good education, school districts. We Asians emphasize the education very, very much and very important for our kids is because we know we are the immigrant. We do not have anything to give to them but just a good education so they can have a good, solid foundation, to build their life in the United States. So education. And then the living expense is low compared to East and West Coast. And for instance, the people coming, like myself, I came here to study in graduate school, and then later on went to dental school. And then after I graduated, I decided to stay because the cost of education is much, much less in the state of Texas. But it's great education, tier 1 universities, so these are the two reasons. The cost of living is low, good education for our children. And then the third thing I would say, even though we have, 500,000 agents, compared to East and West, we're not that many. So local people, American people, they treat agents like a treasure because they go to Chinatown. We have a very small Richardson Chinatown or a Taiwanese market, and because we don't have that many agents, so the upkeep of those centers are just wonderful. So people do not treat us like a second-class citizen or something because we all educated, we all establish a good business, and then we do not crowd the community that much.
Well, thank you for sharing because it seems like not only is the Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce, it's a collaborative effort to unite all Asians. However, you also, as the Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce, giving back to the Dallas community as well and making such a presence with all your initiatives. And I know one of them you were discussing earlier with the North Texas Food Bank here in Dallas.
Yes. We, ever since the February this year, the freeze, before that we really didn't realize the need for people who are in Hungary. And then after the freeze, we saw the reports, there are so many people line up the food bank, for the food, for the water. And it really touched our hearts that the North Texas Food Bank has done so much, so good for the people. And then we felt like we have to do our part. So basically, the Taiwanese Chamber donated about $11,000 outright to the food bank, and we presented with a small ceremony. And then, like I told you, we also have people mainly from China. They organized a organization called Ni Hao. They raised about $90,000 so far, and their peanut butter drive, I don't know, many 2 or 3 tons they collected the peanut butter. So
And these are Chinese,
yes,
actually from
yes,
China.
Yeah, from China. But Taiwan Chamber and the Chinese Chamber, they call it U.S. and China Chamber of Commerce. We work together toward this food bank project. So that's why it's so success, because we all realize we need to give back to the community.
Dr. Koo, can you tell people the value of joining the chamber?
Well, that is really, very important that we always realize, I, myself, one person, I cannot do much. For instance, we have fundraisers for the political figures, and I myself, $10,000 or $1,000. That's the most that I can give. But with a group of people, we raise $50,000, $100,000 for a political figure or for a cause. For instance, we gave $25,000 to the city of Dallas, Mayor Johnson's relief fund after the freeze. I cannot give that much, but with all the people together, we did raise $25,000 for the city of Dallas. And at the time we present that check, 4 or 5 TV stations came and record and announce that. So we feel good because we want to give back to the community.
Dr. Koo, we've only got about a minute left. What would you like to leave the audience with?
Well, thank you, Jeff, and thank you, May, for this opportunity. I want people to know that even though that we are loyal U.S. citizens, but we never forget where we come from. Our hearts are still with Taiwan because that's where we born, raised, had a good education. So we hope that people can support Taiwan, because Taiwan is the Republic of China in Taiwan is the very first republic, established by Dr. Sun Yat-sen in Asia. And of course, in 1949, Mao, started the People's Republic of China, but the Republic of China is still in Taiwan, and it's a democratic, freedom-loving, prosperity country. We hope people can visit Taiwan and support Taiwan.
Outstanding. Well, this has been a fast-paced show. You'll have to come back again.
Thank you.
We're gonna end by putting up your social media hashtags so people can get in touch with you, and then also the Advanced Community Fund website, which is advancedntx.org. Mai Caldwell and Dr. Charles Koo. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you,
Dr.
May.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.